In addition, it would be beneficial for the faithful type to live in an environment that stimulates his thinking power or intellect. He should also live near or associate with someone who can advise him and stimulate his imagination in the proper way. 5. The intelligent character type. This is the person who always wants to know, study, and think to increase his knowledge. For this type, there is almost no problem with regard to environment. All the directions given for the other types are suitable for the intelligent type since he can adapt himself to any environment. In fact, nothing specific need be said about him at all. 6. The speculative character type. This is the person whose mind easily becomes restless, but not in an intelligent way. His thinking is restless without having any direction or guiding principle. He wanders and is not certain of anything. The environment suitable for this type is one that does not stimulate or encourage thinking and does not cause confusion and create further problems. His dwelling must be small, but neat and clean and sufficiently light. He should have only a few simple essential things and should not associate with people who indulge in meaningless talk. All other things such as posture and color should be as for the lustful type. Summing up, the lustful type is dominated by desire and must use unpleasant things as an antidote. The hating type readily becomes angry and must use clean, neat, and beautiful things as an antidote. The dull type is deluded. As an antidote, he needs spacious, open, bright living quarters. The faithful type believes too readily. For him the antidote consists in following definite and orderly principles. The intelligent type stresses understanding. He should use his own intelligence and think for himself. The speculative type should use as an antidote environmental conditions that stimulate thinking. When the meditator has examined himself and come to know his own nature or temperament correctly,
he will be able to select a suitable environment without much difficulty and thus be largely self-reliant in his practice. Moreover, he can even choose the concentration object best suited to his nature. If he is of the lustful type, he should use one of the 10 loathsome objects, asubhakamana. If of the hating type, one of the 4 sublime abodes, brahmavihara, or illimitables, apamana. The dull type should choose analysis of the 4 elements, katadattavavana. The faithful type should choose one of the 10 recollections, anasati, such as recollection of the Dhamma. For the intelligent type, these is no specification. The speculative type should choose an object of calming or pacifying nature, such as mindfulness of breathing or a kasina disc. The Buddha did say, however, that mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati, is suited to every character type. If a person shows a variety of temperaments, he should, in selecting his meditation object, consider first the dominant one. Then he can consider the next strongest. Having dealt with the conditions inside, that is, the different character types, we must now speak about conditions outside. As a guide to selecting a suitable environment, we shall discuss the so-called sapayadhamma, or things beneficial to the practice. They are reckoned as 7, namely, suitable dwelling, resort, speech, people, food, climate, and posture. Besides being suited to the character type as discussed above, the dwelling selected should be as follows. Not too big, otherwise it will require too much care. Not too new, otherwise a lot has to be done to maintain it, Not dilapidated, for a dilapidated building presents danger both in itself and in the form of the reptiles and other vermin it harbors, Not on a roadside, in order to be free from disturbance from traffic and visitors, not near a public well or
tank, to be free from disturbance by people coming to drink or draw water, especially people of the opposite sex, Not near a place where edible leaves and vegetables grow, for otherwise there will be disturbance from people collecting them, especially people of the opposite sex, and not at a place where there are useful flowers and fruits, for the same reason. It should not be a famous shrine, since it would then be frequented by pilgrims coming to pay homage. It should not be near a city, because a city is a source of all manner of disturbance and inconvenience. And not near a source of firewood or near arable fields, since there would probably be disturbance from noise or the people themselves. Preferably it should not be near things or persons that are in any way unsuitable, such as hot-tempered people, members of the opposite sex, and so on. It should not be near a landing place, because their people are constantly coming and going, not too far up country, since the people there may not be disposed to give support and may even misunderstand and give trouble, and not on the frontier of the kingdom, since that area is strictly checked by the authorities in charge. And there would be the possibility of the meditators being adversely affected in case of a border conflict. Lastly, the dwelling should not be in a place where the 7 suitable things are unavailable and where neither a good friend nor a meditation teacher can be contacted. All these examples of things to be avoided provide a basis for deciding on the best place to stay, particularly in the case of a bhikkhu. When the meditator has found a place free from all these faults, he is said to have a suitable dwelling. The term suitable dwelling may imply a whole village, a whole forest, a whole monastery, or a part of it, or just a single hut, cottage, a cave, the foot of a tree, a valley, or even the meditator's own room. Briefly put, the meditator should live in a place free from disturbance and
favorable to the practice of mental development. 2. A suitable resort is a place where the meditator can conveniently obtain his food and such other necessities as facilities of communication, especially those required for his practice. The important point about the resort is that food should be obtainable there without too much difficulty, and that there should be no unfavorable objects, particularly to be avoided are objects poisonous to the mind, the sort that harm the mind, objects that depress, that may lead to ruminating over past experiences and perhaps eventually bring about a return to the worldly way of life. The commentaries compare the meditator looking for a suitable resort to a cow looking for a suitable pasture. 3. Suitable speech is speech that is conducive to success. It is talk that is good and profitable, talk that may resolve doubts and encourage the meditator to practice. Talk that is agreeable to his temperament. Even the calls of certain kinds of animals may or may not be agreeable, let alone the talk of human beings. Noisy and clamorous sounds and also alluring sounds are to be regarded as unsuitable. By contrast, talk that encourages and gladdens the meditator, that strengthens and inspires him in his practice, will add to his knowledge and understanding of his duty and is to be considered suitable. Most particularly are the words of a good friend to be regarded as suitable speech. 4. Suitable people, the people around the meditator, teacher, friends, fellow trainees, and supporters. Both men and women are suitable if they are able to get on well together and live in harmony. The function of the teacher is to uplift the meditator. The function of his companions, his fellow wayfarers, is to provide company for him and make him feel secure. The function of the lay supporters is to help him along so that he makes quick and smooth progress. This is what is meant by suitable people.
5. Suitable food is food that suits the temperament of the meditator in the ways mentioned above under character types. To be suitable, the food must nourish the body and protect it from illness, and of course the meditator must eat it correctly, mindful of its true purpose, whether the food is to be vegetarian or not, whether it is to include fruit or starches, and so on, depends on time, place, and personal preferences and ideas. No general rule can be laid down for all people, but if the food the meditator gets is just what his body and mind require, that food is to be regarded as definitely suitable. 6. Suitable climate implies a favorable season, a time of year that provides good environment, good scenery, good weather, and the like. The choice of climate will be made under either of two conditions: if the meditator is going to practice for only a limited period, or if he is about to practice for the first time, he should select the best season possible. In this case, there will be ample opportunity to select time and place. If, on the other hand, he is practicing continuously, he has very little choice. He may, however, select a season in which to practice one particular aspect of the training more strictly than usual. And in either case he may, if conditions permit, move to a locality where atmospheric conditions are such as to constitute suitable climate. The meditator may decide, for example, where he will live in summer, where in winter, and where during the rainy season. Or if he is not in a position to move from one place to another, he may adjust his residence in such a way as to achieve the same result. 7. Suitable posture is any one of the four postures, sitting, lying, standing, and walking, that is beneficial to the practice. Which particular posture is to be preferred can be discovered by personal experiment. The meditator must find out in which posture his mind can most easily become concentrated and remain so. Having found his suitable posture,